Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the 10th episode of the SarCAST podcast. Man, it's been 10 episodes. 10. I started just doing this for the lulz, right? We did it live stream. We live streamed the SarCAST podcast a few times. I think for the first 4 episodes was live streamed. Then we started going for the pre-recorded ones, and then we found out that the pre-recorded formats were better. Got the points down better, right? We spoke about the points, not a lot of circling around the topic that much because I don't need to be reading chat while I'm talking, but here it is, guys. Before we get started, I want to thank, again, every single one of you guys for supporting the channel, for watching every single SarCAST podcast, for tuning in. And if you're new here, go ahead and click the like button, click the subscribe button. There's a lot of content on my channel that you guys can can consume. But without further ado, I think it's time to dive into our first topic for the 10th episode of the SarCAST podcast. Now, this is a week after MPL Indonesia and Philippines wrapped up. So the first topic is going to be MPL Indonesia Season 10. It just wrapped up the grand finals. It was Arakihoshi versus Onic Esports, and Onic Esports went on to win it 4-1. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of predicted the champions for MPL Indonesia. I went with Onic Esports in my prediction to win. I even got the score right, but unfortunately I did not get the teams right. I predicted Onic Esports to meet up against Bigatron Alpha in the grand finals, and I predicted Onic Esports to win 4-1 against BTR. In the end, obviously, BTR did not get to the grand finals, but hey, Onic Esports are the champions, are our champions for MPL Indonesia Season 10. So congratulations to Onic Esports. And I think, honestly, if you look at it through the regular season, to how consistent they were in the regular season, the peak in the regular season, their peak in the regular season, and just their overall performance in the regular season, which was, again, very, very good, considering they are probably the second, well, not... Okay, so what I'm trying to say is Onic Esports in the regular season, they really experimented with their roster, right? They didn't stick with one roster the entire season, the entire regular season. They went with a Samo HT Drian combo, then they went for the Samo Sans combo, then they went with Keyboy Drian, and then Keyboy Sans. In the end, it was Keyboy Sans that was played in the playoffs, but the fact that they were able to hide this main lineup of theirs for so long in the regular season and still have that kind of performance in a regular season, so consistent, only dropping 3 games in total, is quite insane, right? Because other teams who've tried this kind of strategy, swapping their rosters here and there, like EVOS Legends, didn't get that same outcome, right, in the end. So yeah, Onic Esports, I think the way they just handled the entire season was amazing, phenomenal. The fact that they were able to juggle a few rosters here and there, the coaching staff as well, is probably right now the best coaching staff, right? I think Onic Esports have the best coaching staff in Indonesia, with Aldo, Mars, and Yeb, right? The trio. These guys really, man. I don't really know exactly who works on the draft, who works on the rotations, who works on the things there, everything. But it has to be a combination of all these 3 great minds together that actually helped create the draft, the gameplay, and everything, right? Because the draft, I think for Onic Esports, they rarely lose in the draft, in my opinion, right? Because the drafts are very subjective. Sometimes you can, some person would say that, oh, Onic has a good draft, but other people would say they don't have a good draft. But considering their outcome, I guess we can kind of say that the drafts have been stellar for Onic Esports, and that, the coaches are doing their good job at drafting and at strategizing, and the players are really good at executing the game plan that's been set by the coaches. But I think there's obviously one standout player when we're talking about Onic Esports, and this is the way to segue to our next topic, ladies and gentlemen, which is Kairi. Kairi, 4 trophies. 4 trophies in Indonesia right here. First season, his rookie season in Indonesia as a Filipino import, a young player. This season is absolutely insane for him. I'm very happy for him. The fact that he got 4 trophies is literally insane, right? First team jungler, regular season MVP, first finals MVP, and then obviously just the MPL ID title. So 4 trophies in total for this young player, all the way from the Philippines. You can definitely see the quality of this kid, right? This guy is insane. Although the main thing I want to be talking about here about Kairi isn't, obviously I want to congratulate him. I want to say it here on, I already congratulated him when he won. Instantly I went up to stage and congratulated everyone on Onic Esports. But the topic here isn't just Kairi winning 4 trophies. The topic here is Kairi winning the 4 trophies. Is it deserved or not, right? Because there's a lot of people, well, you know what? Wait, we'll take it slow. Does Kairi deserve the 4 trophies? I think the only arguable one, the only one that you can argue about is the finals MVP. Because regular season MVP is based on points. I think, he had the most points. That's him for sure, regular season. First team jungler, self-explanatory, because he's the regular season MVP, because he's the most versatile jungler in ID. I would say, yeah, they deserve the first team jungler. I don't think there's an argument to be made there. And the MPL ID trophy, you can't argue about this. They won everything, right? They won. It's with his team. But the one that I've seen a lot of people argue about is the finals MVP. A lot of people have said, so there are 2 sides of the coin here. 2 sides to the coin, right? We're going to be talking about the negative one first. Well, technically both of them are negatives, but we're talking about the one where people are saying that Kairi doesn't deserve the finals MVP. A lot of people have been saying around social media that they think Sans deserves the finals MVP. CW, Keyboy deserves the finals MVP. So we're just going to be mentioning those 3. Boots obviously played really well, but the ones that are being debated right now are those 3, right? Keyboy should have been Keyboy, it should have been Sans, it should have been CW. Now, this is where I can say that I can agree with, there can be a, you can say that, right? You can say that. You can say that Sans played an amazing game. He was a very flashy mid laner. He played that Lilia, and he made a lot of good plays in the end that actually helped Onic Esports get the trophy. I agree. There's no way we can take credit from any of these players is what I'm trying to say, right? There's a case to be made for every single one of these players to be the finals MVP. CW, Keyboy, Sans, right? Everybody played absolutely amazing. For Sans, as we mentioned, he's just a solid member, consistent in the mid lane, flashy as well. A lot of crazy plays where he was 1 HP and he's kept on going. CW, that late game carry. I think every single time the game went on to the late stages, it was always CW who carried the game as a marksman, as he should, but he does his job very, very well, right? So there's a case to be made for him as well. Keyboy, hey, he's a roamer. He was on the show. Every single hero he played on, he made so many crazy plays, and he set up for his team really well, opening up the map, obviously, for the entire team, for Kairi, for Sans, for CW, for Boots, and to all make plays, right? But I think, well, let me just tell you guys first that here for the finals MVP, the way we choose the finals MVP for this season, at least, is we had a vote amongst everyone in the MPL, everyone behind the scenes of MPL, right? So I don't exactly know who gets the vote, but obviously it's the analysts, it's the talents, casters. I think we have backstage people who understand the game, right? The backstage people, the observers, perhaps. So we have a culmination of votes as to who we think is the final MVP, right? And so from that, Kairi was chosen, and I'll tell you guys that I personally voted for Kairi in the grand finals for the final MVP. Why? Why I think Kairi is the final MVP and why I think this final MVP is deserved is because, again, I'm not the type of guy to say that the MVP, someone deserves the MVP because the amount of pressure they get. No, I don't care about that, right? Finals MVP should be based on the final performance. That's it. Final. I don't care that he's a Filipino import. I don't care that he's a young player coming into another country. That should not matter. Finals MVP is based on performance. And I think based on performance, Kairi was the most consistent member on Onic Esports in the grand finals. From game 1 all the way to game 5, I think he played an amazing game. And the thing is, it's also not just about consistency, right? If you're consistently mediocre, I wouldn't vote for you. He was consistently peak. He rarely missed Reggie battles. He rarely died. Hey, he didn't die at all on 3 heroes. On the Lancelot, on the Karina, And I forgot one other hero, but he didn't die a single time. He made the good kills happen. He assassinated the right members. Targeting was on point. His positioning as a jungler. His retribution, most importantly now, considering that the jungle is more of that utility role now. The fact that he is still also able to get all the job done as an assassin, plus that retribution being so on point up against a very tough opponent, Albert, right? When it comes to the retribution game. So, yeah. I feel like in a lot of these series in the MPLID in the MPLID playoffs, the retribution has been a key factor in as to who wins the game entirely, right? A very evident or very visible example of this is the first game of the playoffs, the first match of the playoffs, Alter Ego versus Aura Fire on day 1 of the playoffs, where unfortunately Celiboy lost most of his retribution battles, and even though Alter Ego were ahead in a lot of these games, they ultimately lost because they weren't able to secure Lord to actually end the game. And this was the trend continuously. The team who gets the better retribution wins, because right now the game is centered around objectives, right? And I think Kairi deserved it. Yeah. So hopefully that's good enough reasoning for my vote for Kairi, and hopefully, again, you can disagree. Obviously, this is why the SarCAST podcast is here. This is just me giving my opinion. If you guys still think that the other players deserve the MVP, sure, just let me know in the chat, in the comment section down below. Let me know why you think they're the MVP, because again, there are cases to be made for every single player there. I'm not saying this is the only right answer, but this is my answer. This is how I see the MVP, right? It wasn't because of the pressure of like him being a little of being young, etc. Okay, but yeah. Next, we're gonna move on to the MPL PH Season 10 Grand Finals, because it wrapped up as well on the same day as Indonesia, and in Philippines it was Blacklist International versus Echo PH. Now, Blacklist International won with a score of 4-2 against Echo PH. Now, this was wrong in my prediction, and a lot of people instantly told me on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, hey, Mirko, your PH prediction is wrong, your ID prediction is wrong, and yes, guys, it was wrong. Blacklist International made it to the Grand Finals. I predicted Omega to actually go on to the Grand Finals and win against Echo, but did not happen. Omega got knocked out on the first day, right, by Bren. But yeah, Blacklist International, once again, are showing the world that they are still the team to beat, right? They are still the team to beat, and they're still number 1. It's absolutely insane, the amount of progression that this team has gone on, like the progression is absolutely insane. I'm trying to think about it again, and I'm just, it's making me blank out, because I'm thinking of all those crazy picks, the Valentina, the Guinevere that Wise showed off in the playoffs, and the fact that they hid every single one of these picks back in the regular season. They were able to hide all these strategies and still end up in the regular season at first place, right? It's crazy. It's insane. The fact that everybody stepped up as well. A lot of people were saying in the regular season that Oheb's hero pool is a lot of people were doubting his hero pool, right? Coming into the playoffs, he couldn't play the 1-1. He's decent at this hero. He's not this crazy on this hero. He's just crazy on the Beatrix, etc. But he definitely proved a lot of people wrong. Edward absolutely smurfing in the finals. Jeez. Oh, man. Give me a sec, guys. Give me a sec. My bad. All right, guys. Got a text message. But yeah. Anyways, so where were we? All right, yeah, Black International winning, and Wise, dude. Yeah, I mean, I personally think, sure, Edward played an amazing game. Edward is, I think, right now the best XP laner in the world. But Wise, he's so good. He's so good, especially in the grand finals there. Really showed his class with his versatile picks. I think if it comes down to like hero pool, he has the creativity of Wise, of Blacklist is definitely number 1 right now. they picked up Guinevere jungle, which is still like baffling to me. Absolutely baffling to me. Jeez. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it, and it's still like making me really think, man. Do you guys think he deserves to get that finals MVP? Or do you guys think it was the right call to give it over to Edward? Because I watched the series as well. Sure, Wise didn't make any crazy flashy plays, but it's just Wise being Wise. Wise never makes crazy flashy plays, right? He's always just that consistent, efficient jungler. The fact that he picked all these heroes and was able to flex these heroes in the draft in the end, I think kind of helped them win the grand finals, right? And I think just this whole roster is absolutely disgusting, man. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Edward, probably the best XP laner. We're going to get to a segment of top players in the world, and you guys are in for a show, right? But yeah, right as we are done talking about Blacklist being the champions, I think it's a very good time to actually talk about the next topic I have here, which is also a very interesting topic, right? Hey, yeah, I was wrong in my prediction, ladies and gentlemen. Blacklist obviously were able to win in the end, but a lot of people in social media have been like saying that Mirko hates Blacklist, and Mirko, yeah. So the big question right now is the topic that I want to talk about right now for you guys is why. Why do I hate Blacklist, right? Why does Mirko hate Blacklist? Why do I hate them so much, man? Why don't I predict them to win every single tournament in this world, man? Hey, I'm sorry to shit on your expectations, guys, but unfortunately, I don't hate Blacklist. No, a prediction is made based on, again, my opinion towards how I see the games played and how I see the teams. And yeah, I felt like Blacklist International they were number one in the regular season, but I felt like they were beatable, right? Obviously they weren't, because they had so many crazy strategies that they let loose in the grand finals, in the playoffs, and they hit a lot in the regular season. That's why they looked beatable, right? But yeah, definitely don't hate Blacklist, guys, okay? If you guys think I hate Blacklist, well, I'm just trying to tell you guys right now that I don't. As a caster, there is no reason for me to hate any of the teams, because I get paid the same amount whether the team loses or wins. Whoever goes to the World Championships, I get paid the same amount. There's no agenda against any of these teams, right? And a prediction is a prediction, because a lot of people don't understand the word prediction, I guess. Everyone expects all the analysts and all the casters, when they do a prediction, to be 100% right, to be 100% correct. If that's the case, ladies and gentlemen, no one would watch MPL ID, or no one would watch MPL PH and ID. Everybody would just watch the prediction video of one of the talents. If they get it 100% right every single time, they'll just watch that and they'll just be done with it. They'll celebrate early. All right. So hope that answers the question. It's a question, and it's something that I never really expected to answer, but hey, man, there you go. Newsflash. Next, though, this is another topic that's very interesting to me, right? Because this one is a bit more serious, because that one, I feel like it's just a bit goofy. I think a lot of people were trolling as well, saying that, oh yeah, your prediction's wrong, you hate Blacklist. I think a lot of people were just trolling at that point, but there is one thing that kind of like, I don't know, I read it and I was like, oh, is this what people are thinking about right now? So I don't know if this is like a term that's used in the Philippines a lot, or I don't know what this is, to be honest. I read a comment that said this. The word I'm referring to, or the term I'm referring to is PINOY Baiting. PINOY Baiting. So apparently if you bait Filipinos to watch your content, or if you bait Filipinos to do something, right? It's just Filipino baiting, basically, right? So a lot of, well, not a lot. Some people in my comment section have been saying that, or not my comment section, actually, on Twitter and on Instagram. They've been like, oh, Mirko, you're PINOY baiting, you're clout chasing, etc. And yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm just going to be like completely honest with you guys. I make content on YouTube. I've been streaming and uploading content to YouTube for over a year now, consistently streaming, right? And yeah, it's not a. I don't think it's a hidden fact. I don't think it's a secret that most of my viewers are indeed Filipino. And I've never really had a problem with that. I've actually been very vocal about being proud of having an international audience and having the Filipinos watch me, right? You guys, most of you guys are Filipino, and honestly, I've been really appreciating. I really appreciate all of you guys watching my videos. I really appreciate all of you guys for liking, for like doing everything, literally commenting, because that's what literally helps my channel survive, right? But I don't think I do that intentionally. It's because like I make a lot of English speaking videos, and in MLBB, the audience that watches the English speaking videos are mostly Filipino, right? So I'm sorry if I offend anyone by PINOY baiting. I don't think I've ever PINOY baited, right? And if the case was made, just like, so some people were saying like, oh, Mirko, you're PINOY baiting because you only react to MPLPH. Unfortunately, I would love to analyze every single MPL, every single match out there. But right now, MPLPH, I don't think this is a secret, but MPLPH is number 1 in the world. Philippines have won every single international tournament in the past 2 years, except for MPLI, right? C Games, M3, M2, MSC, it's all been Filipino. So the reason I'm analyzing MPLPH games isn't just because my audience is mostly Filipino. When I stream and I'm playing, right? That's not just Philippines. It's just me playing the game. But the reason I analyze Philippines is because I feel like there's just the most to dissect. Like there's the most, the games that I can get the most out of in terms of like analysis has to be Filipino games, right? Because there's so much to dissect, especially the grand finals that I did literally yesterday. And it kind of helps me, the fact that most of the people watching are Filipino, kind of helps me that, I'm already making MPLPH videos. I'm already making analysis videos on MPLPH because it is right now the number 1 region when it comes down to skill and macro play. It also helps me that most of you guys are Filipino. So again, I'm sorry if I offended anyone by making Filipino like MPLPH content, but I've never intentionally made any of these videos to like offend any of you guys, Filipinos. I fucking love you guys. You guys have been supporting me since like a year ago. Most of my members on YouTube are Filipino as well. And so hopefully most of you guys don't get offended, man. And hopefully the guys who do get offended accept my apology. Never wanted to offend any of you guys. But moving on to the next topic, we're going to be talking about the NACT Grand Finals, because in the NACT Grand Finals, we have this is a fun one actually, because it's going to be on Halloween. I think it's going to be tomorrow, so I'll be tuning in here to watch the MPL, to watch NACT Grand Finals. Simpsons versus the Valley. The Valley, obviously the big favorites here, coming into this grand final on Halloween in Las Vegas, the first offline NA event. So I can't wait to see how they actually pull this off, right? Because I've been watching a lot of the behind the scenes that they've been uploading on the MLBB North America channel. So if you guys, again, want to watch NACT, if you guys want to see who wins it, and if you guys want to watch the offline experience for the grand finals, go and subscribe to the MLBB North America channel. I'm not paid by them. They did not sponsor this video. I just want you guys to check it out because, again, NA, we got to help NA grow as well, right? We got to help NA develop as well for MLBB. If MLBB keeps on growing, we all keep on growing, our community, right? So, yeah, I can't wait to actually watch NACT. I'll give you guys my prediction right now for NACT Grand Finals. I think the Valley will be the one winning it in the end. I think for the score, it should be, I think, Simpson 4-1, I think would be a good score. 4-1. Based on the information I know, based on the data I've seen, and based on the matches I've seen, the Simpsons are definitely, I don't think, are as good as the Valley. But if the Valley get overconfident, if they get nervous on stage, it definitely could be an upset, right? Still, there's a chance of an upset happening, but I think because of the experience of the players from the Valley, They played on the world stage before. I don't think it's gonna get to them. And obviously, I don't think they are underestimating the Simpsons. They can't afford to. This is their M4 slot on the line. There's only one slot for NA. So good luck to both of the teams, Simpsons and the Valley. That's my prediction for NACT. Next, we're going to move on over to the next topic, which is going to be the top players in the world right now, according to Mirko. Top players in the world, according to Mirko. Right? So, right now, I have a few names on my list. We're going to mention top 3 in every single role. Okay? Or maybe top 2. Should we do top 2, top 3? I don't know why I'm asking you guys as if you guys are watching it live. I think we'll do top 3, right? All right, we'll do top 3 here. So I have a list of names already. Let me just take a look again and let me just think about it again, right? We'll start in the XP lane right now. And I think for the XP lane, the top 3, I'm going to start with number 1 here. Number 1 is Edward from Blacklist International. I think right now, his hero pool, the way he plays the game, the way he executes the game plan for Blacklist International is absolutely amazing. And I think he is currently the best XP laner in the world. And eyes are on him. Second, I don't think I'm going to give like deep explanations because we will be doing this kind of video later on as well, right before M4, just M4 player power rankings where I actually dissect the way they play the game, etc. So we won't actually we won't deep dive into the players and why I think they are number 1. But number 1, Edward. Number 2, I'll give it over to Sanford from Philippines. And for number 3, I'll give it over to Boots. Okay? So now we move on to the jungle. Now, currently for jungle, I'll have to say Kairi number 1, Wise number 2, and Carl TZ number 3. Mid lane. For the mid lane, I'll have to say Haji is number 1. Number 2. I'm thinking about Sans or Clay currently for number 2. Sans or Clay. Well, you know what? I personally like how Sans plays the mid lane a bit more because of his more aggressive style. So I'll give it over. So it's Haji, Sans, Clay for the mid lane. For roamer, I'll definitely give it over to Venus. Venus number 1. I'll give it over to Keyboy actually for number 2 and Yaoi number 3. The main reason why I'm not putting Yaoi as number 2 and Keyboy number 2 is because Keyboy has a deeper hero pool, I think, in the way he plays the game. He has more dimensions to play with in their roamer position. Meanwhile, for Yaoi, I think if we're just talking about his comfort heroes, he is the better roamer, just if he actually gets the comfort heroes. But the thing is, if you get target banned like Yaoi did in the grand finals, it's very hard for him to get those comfort heroes, and he doesn't perform as well as he does on the comfort heroes, right? So I'll put Yaoi at number 3. What role do we have? Gold lane. Gold lane, I think number 1 in the world currently. All right, this one's a bit tough because all the gold laners are actually really good. I'm talking about current form, okay, guys? Current form gold laners. By the way, all these rankings are current form as of now, right? And unfortunately, I think for my list right now, it is mostly Indonesian and Filipino players because I haven't been too impressed by the other regions that much, right? Yeah, we'll see again. We'll do another revision of this later on before M4. That's when I have the most knowledge on these teams. But right now, I'm just giving it because a lot of people have been asking me to list the players. Well, gold lane. Gold lane. All right, gold lane. I honestly think CW is number 1, man. I think like just the versatility that he has and currently the mechanics that he has as well, like it's a good mix, you know. He's a very macro oriented gold laner in the way that he sees the game, but his micro this season has been absolutely insane, and his hero pool this season is amazing. So I think for number 1, I'll give it to CW. Number 2, I'll give it to I think I'll give it to Oheb. And then for number 3, I think it's a tie between Benny QT and Skylar. Yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll do that. That's the official best players in the world for me currently, right? But again, we will have more information later on, right before M4. So look out for that one. That's going to be a full list of top 10 players for M4. Next. Oh, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, number 8, MPLI has wrapped up its captain's draft, and the 2nd of November is going to be the date for MPL Invitational, right? So in the captain's draft, it was a very interesting one. If you guys haven't already seen it, go ahead and watch it. It was me and Arashi who hosted the captain's draft. All the coaches went for the drafts, and I think in particular the matches I'm looking forward to the most in the bracket and in the captain's draft there is the match Echo versus Evos. And then I'm looking forward to see Aura versus Onic PH if that happens. Because Aura and Onic PH will have to beat their opponents first before meeting up. I think that will be a good, the very fun matchup, right? Because Aura are up against Todak and Onic are up against Slate. So if Onic beats Slate, Onic PH beats Slate, and Aura beats Todak, Aura versus Onic Philippines would be amazing, right? Because Minotaur Jungle, both of them. Another standout would probably be that's about it, I think. Yeah. But oh yeah, fun little fact, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of these teams for MPL Invitational won't be using their main lineup. RRQ are sending their MDL lineup. I think the ones who actually went with their full lineups were Echo, RSGPH, Aura Fire, Geek Fam, ID. So there are a couple of teams, but for RQ, it's not their main lineup. For Onic Esports, even, it's not their main lineup. I think Team Hawk, Todak, all the other teams are putting on their main lineup, but a lot of teams aren't putting on their main lineup. So that's why I released a top 4 MPLI teams on Twitter. And at first I put RQ Hoshi in it, but because the roster reveal came out, I had to change it. So it's not RQ Hoshi. I actually put Geek Fam. So I don't know. I think Geek Fam might be the dark horse for MPLI. And if you guys want to know the reason as to why I think Geek Fam are going to be the dark horse for MPLI, you guys can check out later on the MPLI prediction and power rankings video from me that I'll be uploading in, I think, the next 2 days. Yeah, it'll really depend. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. Depends on if my vlog is going to be ready, because I'll be prioritizing my vlog to be uploaded first. But yeah, I guess that's it for the SarCAST episode. And again, tell me what you think on every single one of these topics, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed the SarCAST podcast as usual, and hopefully you keep on supporting the SarCAST podcast and my channel as we go on with life, yeah? So once again, thank you so much, every single one. This is a milestone, number 10 in the SarCAST podcast, and I hope to be making these again, man. I hope to be making these constantly, maybe forever. Amen, right? Well, that's it. Thank you. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. See you, bros.